Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Hey.
This week brought to you by Squarespace and Honey. Where are we at?
Sup, honey?
There we are. That one and that one. I'm Gus.
I'm John.
John, you're the host of a show.
I'm Barbara.
I'm John as well.
And I'm Gus also, as well.
So,
No, we got all the Johns out of the way and on the spot. You can't be another one.
that was, by the way, great. That was really great.
Thank you.
I love to see people doing stuff like that. The way we should explain. John hosts a show called On the Spot.
I do.
Which has gone through a metamorphosis in the last season.
It's gone through a change.
And it was, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Barbara. Well, allegedly.
John. It was John.
John.
The entire cast showed up dressed as John.
And did not tell me they were doing it, and I did not see it until 30 seconds before we went live.
Even John was dressed as John that day.
I was.
It's a good thing you dressed up as John that day. Otherwise, the joke would have really fallen
We
flat.
kept trying to get him to wear a Hawaiian shirt because we were all wearing Hawaiian shirts, but he wouldn't do it.
Because I have this whole the hell aesthetic that I want to keep. We're only a few episodes in, and I wanted to keep it going.
Yeah, I understand.
Which I thought made it even funny to you guys that I wasn't dressed like you. But it infuriated me to no end that it was so easy to dress up as me.
You have a look. It's nice. You're like a cartoon character.
I am. I'm a caricature, just
Yeah.
a walking caricature.
Well, I mean, it's like you have a very well-defined style then.
I do.
You have
I do.
a look, and people can point to it and be like,
Here's what'll
"That's
happen,
John."
and I think I've already seen this starting to happen with you, is they will send you now, they meaning the population at large, will send you photos of any dude with a mustache and long hair
I already get that.
and say, it's you.
It's you.
I already get that. I get constantly being told someone sees me in public, all right, stop.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
photo.
awesome.
It's the weirdest that I make the best John.
It is a little bit. You have the cheekbones
Yeah.
And the blue
to
eyes.
pull it off. Also, it's weird that seeing Barb in a mustache seems somehow more appropriate than seeing Chris with facial hair. Like, it seems far more unlikely that Chris Damaris would grow facial
Chris
hair.
looks like John's Italian cousin. Like, I don't know if we can pull that up again, but to me, he's like Jimmy Risinger.
the Italian cousin.
It's because he had the ponytail, but like, and had like the ponytail going on instead of like the man bun or something like that. Yeah, they're all pretty great. But yeah, I get sent pictures all the time of I look like people, or they
Somehow
can.
seems racist, but it can't be.
No,
right? So
you can't be racist to me. You
yeah.
can't.
somehow it seems like it is, though. Somehow we crossed that line.
Yeah.
Shame on all of you.
I actually wanted to do that bit like the first time I was on the Hell episode, but we didn't get our act together in time.
Oh.
So when I was on with Max, Chris, and Josh, I was like, I really want to do this bit where we all dress up as
Yeah.
John.
Is that something you like doing, like dressing up with people that you have that you're working with? Because you did that thing with Steven Suptic as
Yeah,
well.
I'm kind of realizing I like dressing up as a guy for comedic sake.
Go ahead.
Maybe I'm discovering something about myself. Who knows?
Did something
Maybe.
awaken you?
But it's weird though because the two guys I've dressed up as, everyone has said that I pulled it off really well.
The
It's
subject one I thought you did really
It's because
well.
you picked two effeminate dudes with slim bodies.
Yeah, you make a good point. I don't know if I'd make a good Burnie.
No, try it. Go to, or Josh Flanagan. That'd be a tough one to pull off there.
We don't have the budget for that much.
So I want to
hair.
point something
Yeah.
out. So I said we have these Japanese teas. Hey, so,
my tea.
that's a great example. So Gus has one of them. Sorry if you're listening to the audio podcast. It's going to be a visual joke. So he has this Japanese tea that comes in our drink cooler here at work. And I like
It seems like a product placement.
because you walk around with them. It's like a tea. And
Who
like,
comes in our drink cooler?
That guy does. You seem healthy. And it seems healthy as long as you keep the label on. But if you take the label off, then it looks like I'm carrying around a vial of my own piss and
you're very
doctor.
You're very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very unhealthy.
You need to drink more water.
Got what is that? Rhabdosis? What is that? You're a fucking workout fiend. What's that?
Right. I work out so my pee doesn't get all cloudy.
Yeah.
It's a thing. There's a condition you get when you work out too much.
If you do enough squats, then the pee stays clear. It's how it works.
No, listen to me. There's a condition. Fuck somebody with goddamn.
Well, no, what
internet,
happens
look it
is
up.
you sweat out too much of the clear liquid, so then there's less clear liquid to make pee.
Why do you think I'm hydrating right now?
Hey, this is a public service announcement, not for our audience. I don't
I've
think any
never
for.
once heard that working out too much makes your pee yellow.
It shuts your kidneys down. You get rhabdosis.
Or dehydration.
Rhabdosis.
What's it called? Rhabdosis.
No one in the-
Rabulosius.
no
What
one
the
in the
fuck
crew
am I asking
knows.
the broadcast crew? When was the last time
Do you guys work out too much?
There you go.
Rhabdosis. I'm typing into Google. Did you mean rhabdosia?
Did you? Maybe I did. Maybe I did. Google.
This is, nope, that's a plant.
If I work out
Look
too
up
much, will my
CrossFit.
pee
Look up
turn colors?
CrossFit, my pee is orange.
It's gonna come back. It's gonna work.
I'm so happy that's in your Google searches now.
Brown urine 3 days later on the fitness Reddit. Dark pee after exercising.
Is it like too much protein powder or something?
It's like it's a cascading effect in your body. Rhabdo, right?
Rhabdo.
Yeah, but it's short. Rhabdo is short for something.
It's short for.
How is that? RABDO?
It's short for gains.
Did they throw an extra A in there?
No, it's RHA, right? Yeah, RHA. I know what I'm talking about.
Rhabdomyolysis.
How's your rhabdo going, Burnie?
Rhabdomyolysis. It's a condition in which damaged skeletal muscle breaks down rapidly. Symptoms may include muscle pains, weakness, vomiting, confusion, and there's a big picture of brown piss right next to it.
There you go.
Why didn't that?
It looks like Burnie's drink.
Why wasn't it listed as a symptom then?
I don't know, but I mean, it's right there.
Oh,
That's pretty good pee.
It only took 5 minutes and 3 lookups, but now everybody gets my joke. So it's my joke.
Well, the best part was when right before we went on stage, Barbara looked at you and said, "What is that? Why are you carrying around a container of your own pee?"
Did you really think this was my pee? It looks like that?
I mean, the thing
It's
is
all
that
foamy.
people don't know this, but right before we went live,
I took a pee in a bottle.
you were offset somewhere in the shadows doing something, and then you come back holding this like coming in hot. So I thought you were just like peeing in a bottle offset, maybe.
Coming in hot, huh? But I heard, and I shouldn't even tell the story because I can't tell it any further, but I heard an amazing idea for a movie that I just thought is fucking amazing. I'll tell you guys afterwards.
What a great story.
It's not my idea.
It's a great idea.
So I can't tell. Listen, I'm just being honest. I'm being as honest as I can
I'm
be.
telling you, you told me it's a great idea.
Oh, I told Gus.
I'm backing you. Yeah. I'm just backing you up.
I'm just always ready to fight on the podcast.
I'm getting like crossfire here for no reason.
Crossfire.
That was a crossfire. That was direct fire. I was aiming at you.
Direct fire. I think you were mad at them and just kind of spilled over onto me.
Spill fire.
Sorry, it's my rhabdomyosis that I have that's got me all on edge.
Man,
my skeletal muscles are breaking down.
I read an awful headline.
Did you say your skeletal muscles are breaking down?
That's what it said.
Okay.
I read an awful headline. Speaking of health problems, I read an awful headline the other week before we went to E3.
Yep.
3 tourists confirmed. 3 tourists confirmed as first global cases of super gonorrhea after unprotected sex in Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia, was it specifically Thailand?
I believe so. It's like
where do you get to like
gonorrhea? Yeah, where do you go from gonorrhea to super gonorrhea?
I know what it is. You know what it is? It's they can't fight it with anything. That's a thing now. Syphilis and gonorrhea are making a huge comeback.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they've been doing CrossFit. They're working it out. They have resistance now to all major antibiotic treatments.
Awesome.
So they're
some specific strains of it.
Well, I know they changed the STD term to STI because infections can be treated.
Mm-hmm.
So would these now be actual STDs?
You can't treat a disease?
I think you could treat it, but I think there's some differentiation between disease and infection. That's why they changed the STI, STD.
Is that why they did?
Yeah.
I've never understood that.
Maybe they're trying to change people's attitudes towards STDs.
Infection sounds a lot nicer than disease.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because infection, you're like, oh, it's like a cold.
Yeah, like I have an infection versus I'm diseased.
Super makes it sound way worse.
Yeah. Or really cool. I got super gonorrhea. Who wants to fuck?
Nobody.
Yeah, no one raising their hands on that.
It would be really great if they worked that into the plot of a new Superman movie, though. Like they got to take him down somehow, and they give him super gonorrhea. That's the only thing that can knock him out of
$1 million.
Let's write this out. How are we giving Superman super gonorrhea?
Send Lois Lane to Thailand. Or where is it? Where did she go?
I think it was Thailand.
Southeast Asia. She has to do a big report. She comes back. Something happens.
She gets really horny down there with all the research she's doing.
Wouldn't? It's fucking Thailand, dude.
Yeah.
What? Thailand's a wild place.
Okay.
Singapore is not a wild place.
Does Thailand make you
Singapore
horny?
is the place that's got a rule for everything.
Everything makes me horny. What's up, Mom and Dad? I know you're watching.
Great.
How long have you been in your new relationship? Can I even say new?
Yeah, you could say new. Actually, as of the 16th, technically the 17th, because we had our first kiss December 17th, like at midnight, past midnight. 6 months.
There's way more information than anyone should know about when their relationship started and what happened. That's too much.
We had our first kiss.
That's
it was the night
too
of
much.
the Christmas party. It was the carpeting party. Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize the date as the company party.
Yeah, it was.
Mistakes were made.
Past midnight. Mistakes were made. But yeah, I was just thinking about that because as of this weekend, it was 6 months exactly.
What a great segue from super gonorrhea to Barbara's relationship. I mean, it was seamless.
We did go there through Barbara's never-ending horniness. That's how we arrived at that location.
Always happy to open the door to that.
So, is the company party? Is that how do I say this?
I don't know. What are you
How do I say
saying?
this? I mean, it was the company party this year was, if I may say so, it was okay. I think last year's party was better.
Last year was the masquerade one.
I don't know who's sitting over there, so I'm like staring straight ahead while I'm talking.
I think you're good.
I don't think any of them are
no
here.
events team over there.
So, do you feel bad that you met your boyfriend? You didn't meet him, but you hooked up with your boy. That's the wrong word too. Anyway, that you guys established
Connected.
a relationship.
Yeah.
At a kind of an okay party.
Well,
Wouldn't it be better to have a better party?
It was actually technically after the party that we established because a
Go
bunch
ahead.
of us went to Handlebar, which is a bar in Austin, close by to the venue we were at, after the party. Because I think the party ended at like 11 or something. It was early, I remember. And we ended up talking more at Handlebar. And at that point, it was not the party anymore.
Who was the, like, how did it start? Like, who like, gave the first signal that things
I did.
are... Besides John.
It was-
John gives the signal to fucking everybody, by the
It was
way.
6 months and 1 day ago.
I was the one who initiated going over to talk to him because I noticed he was at the party alone. And I didn't know that he was single until that night. So
How does that come up? Hey, I'm single, by the way.
no, well, I was just like, oh, are you not here with anybody? And then I found out through actually Wes that he was now single.
Okay.
And
He floated in the network.
drunk
grapevine.
Barbara made no wasted time.
Really? So we're talking hours later. You're
Oh, I
smooching
mean,
at a-
I don't think it was that day. I don't know, but
well, you're kissing him at the end of the party. Was it at the
yeah.
party that you found out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was at the party I found out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about your very wholesome anniversary here.
Yeah.
Where you guys smooched after the party.
Smooch.
Probably broke a lot of company rules, I would think.
All right, Burnie.
It's admissible to HR, I think.
Are there rules about that?
I don't
I
think.
don't
We
think
have
so.
rules.
Yeah,
Doubt
the
it.
rule is very simple. Date whoever you want, never break up. Ever. Please, for the love of God. Just
Oops.
relationships are fine. Fucking breakups are just like drag everybody else in, and it's too much.
I think
Not for everyone.
y'all work in different departments, so you're okay.
Yeah.
There's no like seniority or
Yeah,
weird
no one's each other's
organizational
bosses
chart.
or no one works in the same department. Honestly, like other than when we do on the spot together, I don't think I really interact with Trevor at work.
On the spot brings people together.
Oh no.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, kind of the way like Frankenstein brought the villagers together. kind of that same way.
Hey, whatever we got to do to motivate.
Whatever you gotta do.
I was at the party alone. No one came up to talk to me and be like, hey, why are you alone?
I spoke to you.
No, I'm pretty sure you didn't at the party.
I was busy. I don't even heard Trevor was single and on the market.
There was a very
We all were
narrow
making
time.
moves, dude.
I know, and he already got picked up, and I lost my opportunity.
You had to get in there while the getting was good.
So
Yeah, it was actually Wes is actually a big reason why we got together that night because I didn't know he was single until Wes was just like, he's single now, and I was like, I'm gonna talk to him because I'm drunk.
Yeah, Wes and alcohol.
Yeah,
that's what it takes to date Trevor.
the best wingman.
What were you
true.
drinking?
Good. You appreciate a good
Everything.
wingman.
Literally everything.
You love being a wingman.
You're a great wingman, Burnie.
Yeah, thank you.
You're also a good like setter upper. What's the word?
Matchmaker.
Matchmaker. That's the one.
Yeah,
I think it's actually a pastime of yours.
a little bit.
I
Yeah.
remember when
I'm not criticizing it at all. I appreciate it, but it's something I've noticed.
Barbara's a good wingwoman too, because I was single when Barb was single, so we just ended up like going out like at bars and stuff like
it was
that.
a couple years ago.
And so when you meet someone, I don't know if you know this or not, Barbara, if I may, is sometimes intimidating to other women. Like Barbara being there all glammed up and everything. And then
She's trying to make a face. There
what?
it is.
She's trying to make a face. But then the thing that happens is when you start talking to somebody, they say, oh, your girlfriend, they'll say, instead of my lovely daughter, they say your girlfriend. Like they float that like, that there with a question mark at the end that implied like ...
Uh-huh.
And I go, oh no, she's my friend. We work together. But then it's like, oh,
No, I fucking hate her. It's fine.
that's great.
Yeah.
But it is honestly the pretty woman around is a weird stamp of approval for dudes.
What's
Like, you know what I mean?
I get that.
Like we were talking about someone we knew where their previous girlfriend was super hot, and
Yeah.
it's like, so we knew they were going to date somebody else super hot. Sure enough, they did.
Or just like it's gonna sound weird, but that like if someone who is super hot and potentially shallow, potentially not, was into them, there had to be some good qualities to that person.
There we go. See, this is it. This
It's
is-
like a terrible way of saying it, but like
So I want to point something out. When you and Barbara go out in public, people will pose you the question like the ... trying to feel out if she's your girlfriend or
It
not.
doesn't happen that often.
That is not the experience I had with you.
Wait, what was our experience?
Just remember we went to that restaurant downtown that one time. I went there with you and Bethany. Then you two walked away to go sit at the table, and I was going to get you guys your drink at the bar. And there's a guy sitting at the bar. He watched Barbara and Bethany walk away, then turned and looked at me and went, "Got a couple of expensive ones with you, don't you?"
Wow, dude,
I was like,
really?
"What the fuck?"
I do remember that.
Why is that the assumption here?
Much more commentary on Gus than you two. I
Right,
wanna point out.
absolutely.
Much more commentary. Yeah. It was a weird, horrible compliment in a weird way to you two.
Yeah.
Expensive, you know?
Yeah. We're classy. We like nice things and expensive
And
meals.
he said it just felt like you look like a rich guy. You could afford the nice girls. You know?
Yeah, not at all the same.
How many lady friends do you have that get mistaken as hired help?
Me? I've never had. I've been fortunate enough to never have any lady friends in my company mistaken as ladies of the night.
Ladies of the night.
Yeah.
Did you and I think, and a couple of people went out when we were both single.
Yeah.
Did I wing womaned for you, maybe? Maybe not.
I think you've tried.
Yeah,
You've tried. Yeah.
I tried.
I'm very awkward in a cold open kind of experience of like just meeting someone at a bar. Like I think it's not something I'm very good at.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the part I like. I think that's what makes me like the wingman stuff is I get to chat people up and then go switcheroo.
Bite.
You know? Yeah. Can me a beer?
Yeah.
That is
Here, you sound.
that is a more ideal experience for me is when I can have someone who like
Shit drops in your lap.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone prefers that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying it's just
Gavin is the fucking king of that.
Gavin?
Yeah, when Gavin's single, I've literally seen conversations where a woman will walk up to Gavin and say, like, not we're dating now, but basically like, hey, we're dating now. And he's like, okay. I mean, that's really like, have you ever seen a thing where Gavin approached a woman and like worked on it and made something happen?
Not in the fucking 15 years I've known
No.
him. No.
Never.
I can't picture that.
No. Yeah. It's fascinating. And he does perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little too well.
Mm-hmm. I agree. When's Megan to wise up? Be like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know,
Realize,
she likes
You don't
him.
even-
realize she could do a lot better than Gavin.
Dude, I saw something so funny, and I don't know if we can look it up or not, but the Italian
Go on.
goalkeeper for the World Cup team looks like Trevor and Gavin had a baby.
Oh,
Just
yeah?
imagine Gavin, but with Trevor's hair, basically. It's really bizarre to me. And it's one of those things where anybody else looks at the picture, they'll say, I'm absolutely wrong. But I guarantee this guy, like, something about him, he looks just like Gavin and Trevor.
My mind is still blown of that. It's like a magazine cover with some woman who looks like a cross between me and Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
I look at that every now and then because it's my camera roll, and it freaks me the fuck out. Because usually when people send me a photo, it's the same what we were talking about before, where you're like, yeah, just some.
Not the best picture because of the hair, but
This is
Is anybody else watching the World Cup, or am I the only one?
On
dude, I didn't
on
even
the
know what was
set?
happening.
Wow.
I thought this was qualifying rounds or something. What is this?
I was
World
watching.
Cup.
I was watching the Overwatch League stage finals last night. Does that count?
No, that's
we
not the World
sports boys?
Cup at
Are we
all.
sports boys, though?
We're sports boys, but we're not the same sports boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're an esports boy.
I'm an esports boy.
That's great. I read a story that
in Europe they call Overwatch Footwatch.
while they were practicing, South Korea played Sweden this morning, and they were practicing, and they played like friendly games before the actual match together. The South Korean coach determined that Europeans have a hard time telling their players apart, so he had all of their players switch jerseys so that they wouldn't know who was good at what.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's hilarious.
That's fucking crazy.
Is that legal?
During the friendlies, yeah, it was just like scrimmages, so it didn't count.
Oh,
that's
'cause,
funny.
so it was unofficial games.
so like
yeah.
people wouldn't favor certain players.
Right, so the Swedes would think that the person with one name was good at something, but really it was someone else.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
That is amazing.
That's great. It's a good strategy.
Dude, so
They
Bart,
still ended up losing.
let's talk hockey for a second.
You saw hockey for a second.
Let's talk it for a second.
I
So
thought you said I
the
saw
Capitals won the Stanley Cup, right?
Yes.
Washington Capitals.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing was the Las Vegas Golden Knights were in the Stanley Cup as a new team. Like this was their first season as a team. Listen, I don't follow hockey. I read this because the Caps put out a statement. Is that correct that this was the first season of the Golden Knights?
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
ask
yes.
Ryan.
Yeah, it was. I think
It was? Thank you. Sports
Yeah.
people over there. Thank you.
It's so funny.
I looked at this. They were all staring straight ahead in dead silence. So I was like, I got something wrong there. I know I
No,
did.
you're good.
No,
You're
yeah.
good.
Why would I know what's going on with hockey?
It's just news. It's just news.
I don't follow.
I bet you can tell me the most popular cat gif of the day.
I don't watch hockey at all, but I know that. And like one of the players had never won the cup, and he's old.
That's true.
Jorgensen.
Yeah, no, it's a Russian name.
Igor Skorsky.
And he's missing teeth, and it was really funny.
Igor Skorsky, that was it.
Also, a girl flashed her boobs during the when they were skating around with the cup over their heads. And he had all the team following him, and the girl flashed her boobs, and they lost the rest of the team. Like, it was like ducklings. You know, in like the Wile E. Coyote, when they paint the line and they change the line, go the other way, and everything just follows that? It's exactly what that looked like. Suddenly he's by himself with the cup.
Everyone's just at the glass.
A little distracted.
Yeah.
Why'd you bring up hockey?
Because Barb is a hockey fan. She's a Senators fan.
Yeah, Senators are a mess.
How
Wait,
they shitty?
what is their team name?
Ottawa Senators.
Senators?
Yeah,
Senators, yeah.
it's like Roman senator.
Yeah, it's got
As in a political.
Yeah, they get all of their elected representatives, and they have to field a professional hockey team.
What a terrible
them.
mascot.
No, it's like the
like a
Roman
centurion
thing with the
Cool. Call yourselves the Centurions. Don't call yourself the Senators.
I think that might be the Canadian word for it.
Who knows? It's
the
terrible.
Canadian word for a Roman thing.
Sure.
It's senator with a U in there for some reason.
While we're shitting on team names, there's also the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, that's also bad.
Edmonton Oilers.
Oh man, that
There's
makes me
not a
upset
lot-
every time I hear about the Oilers. Because the team I followed growing up in American football was the Houston Oilers, and then they just fucking went away. They shipped them off. They sold them to Tennessee, and they took the name with them. And then when Houston got another team,
So
Well,
are they
it's kind of the
Tennessee
same-
Oilers?
no, they're the Tennessee Titans now, bud.
They were the
Oh,
Tennessee
yeah.
Oilers for one season, right? I think they were.
I think they were. Yeah, they do throwback stuff every now and then when they have those throwback days in the NFL.
Yeah.
They bring out the old school Oilers uniforms. Like, fuck you.
Well, in response to the Canadians, there is one football team called the Texans.
Yeah, I guess it's something that teams do. The funniest one to me has always been the Toronto Maple Leafs, though.
Why?
It's just
Funny.
like it's just the maple, like you're naming your team after a type of leaf.
It's
It's
like-
just so funny to me. I
It's
don't
like
know.
if you had like a sports league with kindergartners. Like one of them would be the Maple.
We're
what is
the
team?
Maple
The Maple
Leafs.
Leafs. Like, oh, that's adorable.
We're the pine cones.
There's the Angels. They're just
Yeah, but it's
Angels.
just when you name a team in Canada, it's like Maple Leafs. It's just like,
Yeah.
why not the Beavers?
Yeah,
you know,
or the
something.
syrups.
When,
Yeah.
when the Canadians make fun of you for having a wimpy sounding team name, you're kind of in trouble.
I guess.
Or like if we, name the Washington hockey team the Washington Flags. It's
Yeah.
really weird.
Well, I mean, just to compare, like in the NBA, we had the Washington Bullets.
And then they became the Wizards.
They had to become the Wizards because they didn't want that association with bullets.
Why do I
Wizards.
associate that change with Michael Jordan? Was he like a investor in the Wizards after his career?
He played there briefly. Yeah.
Was that what it was?
Play for
Yeah.
the
Did he play for them when they were the Bullets? And
No, they were the Wizards.
maybe they changed the Wizards right before he came on.
You might be right.
No, it was.
Yeah, it was right around that time.
Yeah. Was that post baseball?
Yeah.
Thanks, Patrick.
I only knew that he played baseball because of Space Jam. That's the only reason I knew Michael Jordan played baseball.
I've still never seen Space Jam.
What?
I'm
Cancel this podcast.
I'm older than you guys. I don't know if you know
I don't
that.
fucking care. I watched things that I was too old for.
How old were you when you saw Space Jam?
I don't know. When did
Yeah,
Space Jam-
you're.
I feel like it
I'd
came
be
out,
40 now when I'm
What year
watching
did Space Jam
Jam.
come out?
I want to say like late 90s.
It was like 98.
I feel that way about Kingdom Hearts because we had to cover that a lot during E3 this week. And Kingdom Hearts always just felt like a kid's game to me because it's all Disney stuff.
Mhm.
So I was
1996.
going to play that when I was 20. When did
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts come out?
Uh,
Whatever.
yeah.
I was like in my
Something
20s.
like that. Yeah, that's how I missed Pokemon. Pokemon came out when it was like my first semester of college. One of my 2 semesters of college. And it was
Yeah.
like, I was too busy with that. And Pokemon happened, and then I wasn't playing video games
We
for
should
that
watch
brief
Space
time.
Jam together.
All right. I don't know why.
Well, plus when you're in college, you can't really afford a Game Boy. And what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Ask your parents for a Game Boy in college? Probably not going to happen. You're busy asking for food to eat, or money to eat food, I should say.
Man, I had a great
Money
meal
to
plan when I was in college. I would eat a pint of ice cream with every meal. I wanted to see if I could get fat. That was my plan.
And did you?
I got a bit of a belly, but
Nice.
not huge, not crazy big.
You're amazing.
I called it my blue belly.
He would
You're
also
amazing.
call his sisters or write them an email and ridicule them because tell them he was eating ice cream for dinner because he's an adult and adults can do that.
Yeah, I would call him and I'd be like, "Hey, you know what I'm eating for dinner? Ice cream." And just like hang up.
Just hang up.
Your younger
Yeah.
sisters.
Yeah, they're still at home.
How much younger are they than you?
12 years. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So they're like 40 now, all the way.
Jesus.
Did we-
He's your age. Why would you
He's
ridicule
actually
him?
younger than Bernie.
Yeah.
He's just trying to
He's the baby of the
poke at
group,
me.
man.
Yeah, I
He's
was gonna
the
say you're the
baby.
youngest of.
Look at the cute little baby.
Yeah.
The nice thing about getting older, though, is all your friends, like, you think you're all different ages. You're not.
God,
You
when we
just kind of
started-
all merged together.
When we started,
Yeah.
I thought
We're
you
all
were
the same
so
age.
much older than me.
I thought Jeff was younger than me. He's basically the same age.
We're the same age now, as far as I am concerned.
He's 2 years younger than me, which is like 0.5% of our age at this point. So
What's a bigger differential when you're younger?
I know it's what it is. It's
Yeah.
just also life experience escalates. I was just talking to my kids about this because Teddy just got braces, and he's
Rip.
3 or 4 days in, and he's like, my teeth hurt. I can't stand this. And it's like, in a week and a half, you're not even going to remember you have them. And then 2 years from now, you'll be so happy, or 18 months from now when you're all done, you'll be so happy you'll have straight teeth and everything. So it's just like, I always try to say, think about yourself 4 years ago when you were 9. Does that anything you did when you were 9 matter? Do you wish you'd have spent more time like playing piano or something like that? When you look back at stuff, it's like, that's the way to look at it. So like, just like, I know it's really important to you because it's going on right now, but think about your future self.
That's also why you shouldn't eat a pint of ice cream with every single meal.
Also that as well.
Think about your
It was a
future self.
delicious experiment.
Okay, real quick. Let's see how well we know Gus. Quick quiz. John,
Yeah.
Barbara,
Bernie?
what is Gus's favorite ice cream?
Why would I know? I
This
know
an easy-
nothing.
this an
Just guess,
easy
dude.
one.
It's podcast.
Chocolate chip.
Well, don't look at him because don't give me the answer. Barbara?
I got my poker face on.
I'm gonna say Rocky Road.
Man, I go off the beaten path and do like a pistachio here. Rum raisin. Gus is old school.
Old school.
Old man.
He's calling me old again. We're the fucking same age. We just went over this.
I always say your name is Gus and you're married to Esther. Gus and Esther are that you guys should be 90.
Get off my lawn.
With those names. I'm gonna guess. You said chocolate chip?
Yeah.
Oh man. Mint chocolate chip.
Rocky Road.
Nailed it.
Was it really?
Yep.
So fucking basic.
Totally guessed on
So
that one.
fucking basic.
Rocky Road, come on. That's
What
somebody
is
who-
your exotic ice cream that you love that
I
makes you
hate
not
like
basic?
pistachio and rum raisin and all
No,
that.
no. I want to hear his amazing, cool ice cream that he loves.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
blood?
Stop.
It's frozen blood.
Blood ice cream.
I like specifically Ben and Jerry's chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream.
Ooh,
That's good.
My favorite ice cream is chocolate chip cookie dough.
Is it really?
Yes.
There's
Mine
something in
is
common.
mint chocolate chip.
That's a good one.
Favorite. It's so refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
That would be my second favorite. I like mint chocolate chip a lot.
Also, drumsticks. I know it's not like an ice cream
Oh,
flavor,
yeah.
but drumsticks are so fucking good. Man, fit for
Cornettos.
TX.
But somebody figured out.
Oh,
to
I
do
get
the
to have
chocolate
cornettos.
thing
I'm
in
going
the
to
bottom.
London again.
Woo!
You can't get cornetto here.
I don't think so.
Not the and I think I've found them here, but they're not the right flavor. They have different flavors.
What
and
are
they-
cornettos?
Cornettos
It's like a
are
drumstick.
basically European drumsticks.
Also, everyone from Europe and then for Australia for Magnums will tell you they're wrong or whatever. Everybody always tells us their candy is wrong here. Like
Yeah,
Gavin
I-
goes on and on about the chocolate.
I will
chocolate.
say our chocolate is not as good here.
It's garbage.
It's very bad.
That's true.
Garbage.
It is.
I brought 45 pounds of chocolate back from overseas once.
What is wrong with
I
you?
remember
took
that.
a
Did you
New
bring
Zealand?
an extra suitcase?
I took an empty suitcase just to fill it with chocolate and bring it back.
Dude, that's trafficking. You can get like felony for that.
I wasn't distributing it. I was eating it.
Yeah, I'm reporting you.
I'm gonna need to confiscate your chocolate.
It's all gone. I ate it.
Damn.
I've had that conversation though about like growing up, especially in media. It was always the joke that specifically British cuisine is inferior to Americans and even like is tasteless and that kind of thing. But any experience, that was the joke.
Mm-hmm.
But any experience I've had with British cuisine or how they do stuff has been like, oh, this is upgrading stuff. Like even down to like how they make their scrambled eggs or how they make their bread. And that
English
kind of thing.
breakfast is that's like one of my favorite meals of all time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but what do you get? Because that covers a lot of territory.
I don't want that fucking tomato with my breakfast.
I'm with you, dude.
Oh, I like
That
the
tomato
with
does
you.
not belong on that plate.
I
Take
love
those
that
beans
tomato.
too. Get those.
Yeah,
out
the
of there.
beans, I'm on the fence
Oh no,
about.
the beans
No.
are great.
Beans and toast is the best thing in the
get in
world.
everything.
Beans and
Put 'em
toast
separate
is
in the
so
Put 'em in
good.
a cup.
I mean, I got to spend Christmas with Riot's family this year, so I got to have an English Christmas in the countryside. And her dad one morning made me a full English, and it might be one of the most memorable experiences of my entire life.
So good.
What was knock it out? What was in it?
It had
Bacon?
beans and it, yeah, it did.
Did you get blood pudding?
No, he had. Well,
Blood.
it wasn't blood pudding. It was black pudding. And
It's
it,
the old blood. You said blood ice cream was your favorite.
I love it. Can't get enough of that blood pudding.
but yeah, had their bacon.
like
What do
you
they
get
call it? Like
scab.
Rasher's bacon and eggs, and tomatoes and mushrooms. and it was and a cup of tea.
Chicken eggs?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. It's a different country.
No
You
snake
caught
eggs.
me. You caught me off guard. I didn't know how to answer that because no one ever says the term chicken eggs when you are ordering food or anything. So I had to think. Yes, it was chicken eggs.
Do we eat other eggs?
Do you eat ostrich?
Quail, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, quail.
You don't eat ostrich eggs, do you?
You can.
I feel like I've seen people eat them, but I feel like it's just.
Let's get an ostrich egg and make a huge omelet on the podcast.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh,
Eric, make it happen.
Got it.
yeah. Podcast 500.
Eric.
Instacart that shit. Get it here now.
No, I want to see a video of Eric trying to take an egg away from an ostrich. That's what I want to see.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Let's definitely do that.
I want to remind everyone, this episode of the Receipt Podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. When you need a domain, website, or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Squarespace offers beautiful, award-winning designer templates. You can create a website or online store in just minutes. You could sell ostrich eggs. It's an all-in-one platform. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. It's easy to set up or transfer your domain on Squarespace. Manage all your domain and billing settings in one place. Plus, it's never been easier to sell products or services online. Manage your products, orders, and inventory easily. With Squarespace, you can engage with your audience, get found across search and social, and grow your following. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com. Go to squarespace.com/roosterteeth to get 10% off your first purchase. That's squarespace.com/roosterteeth for 10% off your first purchase. And we've been asking you to share your Squarespace created websites. We've gone through, picked some more of our favorites. And as a reminder, with Squarespace, you too can make websites like this. So be sure to tweet at us with the hashtag RTSquarespace. And here's a few more of our favorites. First up, we got @Nick_Frollo. Do we got it? There it is.
Ooh.
In Saginaw, Michigan. I've always liked that town name, Saginaw. Next up is Glenn Afric Craig. What we got?
Ooh,
a brewery. Nice. And lastly, we got...
Where's that? Where's Glen Afric Brewery?
It doesn't say, dude. I can't.
Bernie just
I'm
wants...
going to the website. I'll find out.
The last one, where
Right
am
on
I?
the front.
Is Alex Ewell.
Ooh.
That's cool design, dude.
Hydrogen, helium, and the universe.
What's this? Plerian Puddle. That's the name of it. Plerian Puddle. Chemical Life.
It's all about that chem life. All right. Thanks for
This
showing
guy's
us your
cooking
websites.
meth. No.
And thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this episode of the Receipt Podcast. Did you say he was cooking meth?
He did.
It's the only chemistry I know.
Man, I haven't seen
I
Breaking
assume
Bad
everybody's
forever.
cooking meth. What's that?
I mean, I could have sworn I saw a guy who was driving
I saw a guy.
while on meth the other day.
How do you tell someone's on meth?
That's a very
while
specific
they're
call out.
driving?
He was like, I don't know, he was just, the way he was driving, he was on Lamar and he was going to turn onto Koenig. So he was in the left turn lane, but then all of a sudden decided he didn't want to be in that lane. So he shot out across all the lanes of traffic to the far right lane, but he went too far. So he overcorrected and then swerved back into the left lane and then realized he wanted to be back in the other one, then swerved erratically back into the right lane. So all right, I need to pass this guy. This guy's obviously fucked. It's 8 a.m, by the way. I passed
He
this
could've
guy
just been,
and I
still
look at him
drunk
and
from
he's
the night before.
picking at his face.
Oh, man.
Wow.
And I'm like, that guy's on something.
Yeah,
I need to put a lot of distance between us. But luckily he turned off to some side street. It's maybe that guy probably hasn't slept in a couple of days.
Or
Maybe,
he's just still drunk or something from the night before. That's another dangerous thing that a lot of people don't realize is that drunk drivers, after a night of Saturday or Friday, there's still drunk drivers in the morning because people are still drunk into the morning.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, we have our bars here close at 2.
Some
Obviously, you
free.
can still drink at home if you want to.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to admit that I've sometimes gotten so drunk that I wake up and I'm still drunk. Usually
Yeah.
it's not after a full night's sleep. Whenever that has happened, it's only happened a couple times. I think it's a terrible feeling.
Yep.
It's a really terrible feeling. I would rather wake up hungover than
I read something the other day about how the alcohol interacts with your body. And, you think about how the morning after you go out drinking, if you've been drunk, you feel like you're sweating it out or it's coming out of your pores and you can smell it.
Yeah.
That's not actually the case. That's not what's happening. What's happening is the alcohol, it's entered your bloodstream, which is why you have your blood alcohol content. But the what you're smelling is actually the alcohol interacting with the air in your lungs, since your blood gets oxygenated in the lungs.
Yeah.
And it's coming out of your lungs and it's in your breath, which is why they use breathalyzers to test how drunk you are. Because you can't hide that because it's the alcohol content in your blood.
Ugh.
Oh, I just assumed it was residual alcohol in your mouth.
Yeah, that's what I always thought too, that it was, but it's actually from the oxygen in your lungs.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, it's really gross
That's
to think
really
about that.
creepy.
Your blood is exposed to the air, and that's
Yeah.
what's that's where that smell's coming from.
Nope, pass.
I always heard I don't know if I assume it's a myth where if you get really drunk and you're like, oh, I'll pee it out and feel better. It's like, no, you're just taking out the dilution of peeing out like the water and essentially getting more drunk.
You're making your concentration of alcohol in your body higher by doing that. I always hear people say that when they puke and then they feel like they're better. It's a very unhealthy habit in general, and it's crazy how much everyone engages in this. Like basically,
you're poisoning
yourself.
I went through this.
But good luck with your brewery, dude.
Yes.
hope that business takes off for you, buddy.
No, but I grew up not being around any sort of culture that was based around alcohol, and then it wasn't until I got into my 20s that I was like, oh, I can do alcohol now, and I guess I'll try it out.
I can do alcohol.
Yeah.
Two alcohol, please.
One alcohol, please.
Yes. And then I kept trying to for lack of a better way of putting it, getting into it. And enjoying it somehow. And then, you get into the Austin atmosphere, and it's very much, there's a lot of bars, and that's how people like to go out and do stuff. And then if you date, that's what people like to do a lot. And if you go to parties, that's what people do a lot. And I've just come full circle where I'm just like, I don't like alcohol. I don't really like the flavor. I don't like the taste. When I started working on like my health, I did research on what it does to, your body when you do it. I was like, well, that's like counterintuitive to everything else I'm doing in my life. So like at best, when we go to parties and, I just want to like not stand out like a total sore thumb, like Max makes fun of me and asks if I want my vodka spritzer, because that's got the least of like, caloric like content and that kind of thing. But to be honest, I never, ever, ever want to drink alcohol. I never have a craving to drink alcohol. I never it's just something that I don't care for.
I talk about this all the time, but I think the only times I really drink now are at Rooster Teeth.
Oh, you mean at work?
I'll usually have a beer, maybe one beer on the podcast if I'm feeling like it. And then always open. We have drinks that Texas makes for us.
I'm looking at the chat here on the Rooster Teeth website, and Peter Hayes says he gifts better when drunk.
Oh,
really?
Though that's the thing that I've always pointed out, that this is prior to me coming to the conclusion that I don't want to drink alcohol really anymore, was that I have to be 100% sober every time I do on the spot, because one person has to drive that train wreck.
Good Lord.
And I try to drink during the early shows because it's like what we do, and it is a way to loosen up. It is a way to loosen up, and I find that does help. But I found that it ruined the episodes when I was
a little bit of a crutch.
Yeah.
and it's unpredictable. That's the worst part. You never know.
Well, since taking those improv classes, I feel honestly better when I don't drink doing on the spot.
Yeah,
because I feel like more alert and aware of like where I'm going with a story or a character or whatever it is.
I think those improv classes have worked out really well.
I think so too.
This is the second time we've done them in the history of the company.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because everyone's super into it this time. I kind of had to, the first time we did it, I kind of had to make people do it. And they were very, but they got into it.
Once we started, we got into it.
They got into it. But then
I did not want to do it at first.
My second phase for that, did I ever tell you what that was?
Stand up?
Yeah. So after we finished the improv and everyone was happy and on a roll, I said, okay, now here's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to take like a stand-up class, and at the end of it, we're all going to do 5 minutes at an open mic. And this is like 8 of us, 9, maybe 10 of us in the group. And I literally had people, and I believe Gus was one of them, came up to me and said, "If you make me do this, I will quit this company."
I didn't think I went that far.
You're like, you were like, "There's no way I'm doing this."
No,
stand up was like that was a line for so many people.
I am terrified of that.
And yet we just had stand up for like 5 or 6 people from the company. Yeah. A lot of the Funhouse people and Nick Scarpino, who's doing a comedy thing on his own, and then Jeff got up.
Had like 3 or 4 good jokes in there.
I haven't heard it yet.
Were you there?
No,
I got to.
I haven't seen them do it either. But to me, stand-up is way more terrifying than improv.
I had thoughts of becoming a stand-up comic.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I was going through relational issues in California, I was trying to think of what to do to mix up my life, and that was part what led to me getting a job here at Rooster Teeth. But one of them was I adore stand-up comics, and I adore the craft of stand-up comedy, and so I started looking into it. And then it was around that time, like even Mike Birbiglia's special came out, The Sleepwalk With Me. That is his story of how he became a stand-up comic, and it was inspiring. And so I started like writing down notes and just writing down bits and jokes and that kind of thing. And I had like a bunch. And then,
what kind of comic would you be? Like a self-deprecating or?
Yeah, it was a mixture of like self-deprecation and like observational comedy and that kind of thing. Hadn't really figured it out, and obviously it takes a long time.
Why
to
don't you do
figure
it?
that out. I don't know. I think it was a little bit of like.
How about now? I'm saying, why don't you do it now?
I mean, I could do it now. I mean,
Yes, you could.
I could. It's. I mean, just like you guys talking about, it's a scary thing.
It is scary.
to do. And it's guaranteed rejection is what stand-up comedy is. It is guaranteed ridicule. There is not a single stand-up comic that's just been like, yeah, every single time I've ever gone up on the mic, it's been perfect. It's like, no.
Every performance is like that, though. Isn't
Correct.
It in some way? Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody
However,
Anybody watch Crashing, that Pete Holmes show on HBO?
No.
yeah.
It's really interesting. It's like semi-autobiographical about the way he got started into stand-up, and it's really interesting to watch. And you talk about like not every performance is good, and it's his starting and his learning process, and seeing like, oh yeah, there's a lot of bad comedy.
I mean, that's like a thing that a lot of stand-up comics love to share with each other when they're around each other, is share like their worst bombing stories, because they all have them. Like everybody, like Patton Oswalt and Birbiglia and all these guys and Bo Burnham.
See, to me, that's what's terrifying about it, is because you have a prepared set and jokes. So bombing, it's like it's just like
it's a prepared set of things that you think are funny and you think will be received as humorous.
Yeah.
And so it's just like when we make a short or anything or write a movie, you think people are going to like that, and you hope that your performance will do it. But there's no guarantee with any entertainment that you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
Crazy thing with stand-up comedy, though, is you can have that same set of jokes. It kills one night. You go to a different crowd, depending on what the other comics were that night.
Yeah.
You can just like run to a crowd that just hates your stuff.
Or just a big crowd that just doesn't feel like laughing.
Yeah.
I don't know why this made me think about it, but I saw a presentation that Penn Jillette, maybe it's the performance aspect. I saw a presentation that Penn Jillette gave a couple of years ago, and it was him and Randy Pitchford, which was a weird pairing. But they talked about
Super weird.
doing
From Gearbox.
Well, yeah, they talked about doing close-up magic, like street magic style stuff, where you go up to someone and you go through and do a trick and you impress them, hopefully. But what Penn Jillette said was, oftentimes when like a street magician comes up to you and says like, pick a card, any card, or like starts a bit with you, they don't know what bit they're going to do. That's why at the top they don't say, I'm going to guess your card, or I'm going to do this. It's like, depending on what you pick and depending on how it goes, it's like a multiple choice branching thing.
Oh, whoa.
And it's like this whole thing's a process, and ultimately you end up somewhere on one of them. But when you start, the magician has no idea what trick they're about to do. And it's really interesting to me that's a lot more adaptive than like coming up with a set. It's a lot more like, okay, we're gonna go on this experience together, and then ultimately we'll end up somewhere that hopefully you enjoy.
Well, there's some comics that are that way, and there's some people that do. Like, I would say if you watched Kevin Smith when he used to do his little tours, and he would go, and his tours were not predetermined things. He would go up on the stage and ask people just to ask questions, and sometimes he would answer the question. Sometimes he answered the question with like a 5-minute story. One of his specials, he got one question and made an hour-long special out of it, and then didn't answer any more questions, and that was it. Yeah. And it's amazing to watch. And whatever you want to say about his films or whatever he's done in the past or anything like that, if you're a critic of him, you watch his one-man shows, and it's amazing to watch someone be able to just carry a show like that.
He's a very natural orator.
Yeah.
He's amazing. It was like his whole second grade. You said little tour, and I was thinking, those things were big. I mean,
no, they were giant.
1,000-seat theaters, 1,500 people would show up to watch him.
Yeah.
A night with Kevin Smith, if I recall correctly.
All it was. And he didn't have stand-up bits. He would just do it.
I've always thought that you would make a really good stand-up comic, because you're a really good storyteller.
Done it twice. And the first time I kind of like threw myself into it was Kind of Funny Live 2. Mm-hmm. They had me be the host,
right?
And they said, just come out and introduce stuff and everything. And I said, well, how about if I do like traditional hosting? I'll do like a 7-minute monologue at the top. And Greg goes, would you do that? That'd be great. It's like, I'd never done anything like that before.
You did that thing in Vegas?
So I came out and did 7 minutes
and killed it. Yeah,
that was fun. Yeah, that was a lot of it was nice to be able to have my first experience doing stand-up comedy be for essentially a home crowd. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew that audience and I made jokes just for them, poked a little fun at IGN, which they took in good spirit. You know what I mean? And what was the thing in Vegas you're talking about? Yeah.
When we did the GameStop, the managers thing.
Well, that's like a lot of my hosting stuff is like speeches that are funny. You know what I mean? Or,
But you were asking if like jokes were going to land or not. Like, you were asking me and Ashley, like, do you think this will work? That kind of thing. So you were crafting jokes into there.
Tailored it, because that was 5 hours, like in between stuff and everything. Yeah, that was back and forth. Oof. So, yeah, it was fun though.
That was a very fun trip.
You guys had a ton of work to do on that one as well.
Yeah, we worked the entire event and did little interstitials. Maybe the best hotel room I've ever stayed in.
Which hotel was it?
Which hotel were you guys in? No, it's because it's those two hotels that are like share a center part, and I can't remember which one I was in.
The Venetian and the Palazzo?
Yeah.
It
Were you
wasn't
guys
the
in the
Mandarin
Venetian or were you guys in the
Oriental,
Palazzo?
We were in the Palazzo.
So I was in the
It's
Venetian.
the same hotel.
It is.
It's totally different.
No, I walked into their room because we recorded a Game of
fucking
Thrones
connected.
thing, and I was like,
Different
this
titles.
is basically my room with just different colors. You know, it was like when you're at the character selection screen of like Smash, and it's like, I want red Kirby. That's what it was.
Where we were in Vegas for it was like Dice Awards, I
Yeah.
think. That was the first time I was ever in Vegas, and I guess Rooster Teeth put us up in a hotel, and they put me in the Mandarin Oriental. I think that was the nicest hotel room I've ever been in. When I walked into the room, music started playing, and the curtains opened by
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, that was me at the Palazzo. When I opened up, everything opened up
Everything
and
started.
it welcomed me.
It was amazing because that this is also I think 2 or 3 years into working at Rooster Teeth, so I didn't get to travel a lot yet, and so experiencing that, I was like, oh my god,
also
I want
has,
to travel all the time
It has
now.
that hotel also has that butler's closet.
Oh yeah,
Where you could open like a little cubby from inside your room. You could hang clothes you wanted cleaned and then close that door. And then they could open that door from outside without coming into your room.
it's great.
Well,
Yeah.
Barbara, I mean, I think you deserve it. I don't know if you've heard, but you're an expensive one. So you deserve to be treated
I had my
well.
own butler's closet.
So one of the things that Ellie and I wanted to do, or I wanted to do for the vlog was when we traveled somewhere, there was a period of time was in the Australian trip. We ended up going to go scuba diving because that's Ellie's certified in scuba diving. But when we stayed in a hotel, I always wanted to do this thing where I was going to have Ellie go find a local laundromat and wash her clothes and say how much it costs to do it. And then I was going to take all of my clothes and turn them into the hotel laundry on the little checklist you get and say wash them and see how much would it cost to wash your clothes through the hotel laundry
Expensive
service.
as fuck.
I imagine a load would be like over $100.
Yeah, no, a shirt's like $15 for a shirt to be laundered, or is it like 25? It's ridiculous. It is the most overpriced thing in the world.
You're almost better off just buying a new shirt.
Yeah. Next time, you are. Yeah. Next time you're in a hotel, go in the closet and see if they have a laundry list and look at the prices of what they'll charge you to do it.
It's insane.
And you got to wait a day to get it back too.
It's also, I think they give you like a bag that's about this big.
Yeah.
And it's like, what am I supposed to put in here? My underwear. That's it. Please watch my panties for me. $20.
Traveling tip. If you're a gentleman, you're going on a trip and you have a formal event, one of the things can be like your button downs can be a pain in the ass when you get them there and you got to iron them at the hotel iron in your room, which by the way, I don't know what the fuck people are doing with their irons in their hotel rooms.
Cooking meth.
Are they having battles with them? What are they doing? Every time I get to an iron in a hotel, it's like someone has used it as like a boat anchor for 2 years and then they put it back at the top of the closet. But if you ever get your shirts dry cleaned, or if you're going to be packing going to a formal event, go get your shirt dry cleaned and tell them you want it boxed, not hung up. And they will actually, it's a way that dry cleaners will deliver stuff you folded and in a box so that you can just pack it and it comes out and boop, you're
Ready
good
to go. You don't need to like
Pro
iron
tip.
the seams out or
Thank you.
anything?
Learned that from my old boss who was a traveling salesman. For a long
I'm
period
going
of
to
his
be
life.
traveling with a suit to Kind of Funny prom, so I'll need to.
Oh, are you going?
Yeah,
When is that?
Me too.
It's coming up.
Couple
June
weekends.
30th?
yeah.
June
I would
30th.
go, but it's right after VidCon, dude. And I just did E3.
Yeah.
This is the last E3 I'm doing. I'm putting my foot down right now. You guys listening? Ready?
I
Yeah,
think
right.
the person you tell is
Ashley in about 8
Yeah.
months.
I've already told her. This is why I'm trying to bring it up now, because it's like it's not as hurtful when I say it when it happens. I don't know.
You'd rather her hear it on the podcast of you saying you're never doing E3 again.
Well, so I think she'll
Fair
hear it
enough.
and she'll say, he'll come around.
It's
next
rough,
year.
but it's challenging. It's like it's a really challenging
All
week
three
to
of
get through.
3 of you guys were there, like co-hosting this whole
Yeah.
week
But-
or that whole week.
But I like it.
I do too.
It's like
It was
I'll
my- it was my
complain
first
about it.
one.
Yeah, I'll
And yeah.
complain about it, but it's definitely different than other stuff we do, and you got to be ready.
I
Yeah.
saw you, I think it was when Jeff had his pop-up store party, and you were like, I've been talking for 10 hours today.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Man.
holy fuck.
I'm gonna tell that story about you and Eric when I ran into you guys at that party. I walked into that party with Jeff, and the first people we run into were Barbara and Eric Duncan, who's heads up our marketing. And so we're talking with them, and I think one of us asked. I think I asked Eric, like, "What are you doing here? Why are you at?" He was like, "Oh, marketing, got to oversee the pop-up store and everything." I said, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." Then Bethany walked up. She's like, "I just took a photo. I'm going to post it online. What's the hashtag I should use here?" And you both go,
We're like,
I don't know. I go, "Great job, you two,
Wow.
knocking it out of the park. You two are really killing it here tonight."
Traveled from Austin to be Johnny on the spot. It's like, I don't know,
Listen,
whatever.
we had some great social media coverage at that event.
Hashtag shirt.
Hashtag shirt.
Dude, I got so disappointed. I was going to wear it in the podcast today, and I bought it. Okay, so I went to Mighty Fine, the hamburger place, which is owned by the...
When'd you go? I went there yesterday.
That was a while ago.
Oh.
I actually was going to go there yesterday, but we got kind of a late start for Father's Day. Said, where do you want to eat? And you guys, I'm looking at everybody here for anybody who acknowledge what I'm saying, but you guys have never been through this. Father's Day typically say, hey, where do you want to go to eat? You say, I want to eat here. And everyone's like, yeah, no. And you're like, okay, so we'll go eat somewhere else. Where are we going to go?
Mine just go where I say to go.
Is it? Yeah. But your kids are at the point where they like negotiate with you at all on that stuff? See, my kids are.
I think they're still too young for that, right?
Maybe. Or maybe they respect me.
Or they're just well taught.
Yeah, I think my kids respect you more than they respect me too. So but I wanted to go to Mighty Fine, but they were closed already, or they were going to close in like 20 minutes, and just like, let's not do it. Sunday night.
Yeah.
So we went to Home Slice instead, which
New one or
the new one.
Oh.
The new one's nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
It is nice.
Where's the new one?
It's right around here.
It's like
Right up here.
yeah, it's right across the freeway from here.
Yeah.
It's not like Airport in 53rd, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Very close.
Super close. You know where Drinkwell is?
Yep.
Just a little bit closer to the office from Drinkwell.
Awesome.
Like a block down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went there the other day. The place, God, it's good. They have like the Sicilian pizza there, which they don't have at the other location. I ate slices of Sicilian. I got their normal slices. I ate part of an Italian sub, and I had the cheesecake.
Italian sub is
I had
good, dude.
Everything.
Did
It
you
was
really?
So good.
Were you there with just Esther?
Yeah.
So you guys like pounded all
Damn.
the food. That's awesome.
Pigged out.
Does it compare?
I wanted to eat everything. I was like, I just want to try everything.
If you were blindfolded and given 2 slices of pizza, one from Home Slice here and one from Home Slice on Congress,
I don't think I could tell the difference.
you wouldn't be able?
No.
Good. That's good.
No, that's good.
means
'cause
they're
Home Slice is good.
consistent.
Yeah, I thought that it would suffer up here. It wouldn't be quite the same for some reason, but no, they nailed it. It's exactly the same.
So, the pizza place where you normally get pizza for the podcast, when we do get pizza, is literally...
I don't know why it's me who gets the
one
pizza. I have not gotten the pizza in years.
These guys throw you under the bus all the time.
It's not me. I don't go get the fucking pizza.
It's a me.
So you're saying around here right now, you're okay from now on, because it's closer, if we get Home Slice every time.
I'm absolutely. I used to pick up Home Slice all the time when we were down in Rafael Donato.
Did you guys hear that?
When I did get the pizza.
Somebody make a log of that. Is it official until...
Write it down.
Eric
I think
says
Peter
it's
Hayes
see
needs
it.
to make a GIF about it before it's official, Eric. So we'll see.
Peter Hayes.
By the way,
It's official.
while we are talking about E3 coverage, Peter Hayes was amazing during that entire thing. Because first of all, he's 8 hours away
From LA.
in Ireland. Is 8 hours away? Is it Greenwich Mean Time in Ireland, or is it -1?
I believe it's GMT.
Let's assume it's 8 hours. He's 8 hours away. He watched all of our coverage. He was omnipresent during that and was constantly making GIFs and making extra content. And it was so freaking awesome.
Yep.
We must have shown probably a dozen of his GIFs on the streams. Yeah. And then, of course, he made that incredible wrap-up video.
Your shark singing.
Samuel
Shark singing.
Irvin in chat is asking if you finished your Mighty Fine story. Was it just that you went to Home Slice instead?
Nope, that's not it. Okay, thank you. Who was it?
Samuel Irvin?
Thank you, Samuel Irvin. So I went to Mighty Fine, and they have T-shirts for sale there. And Mighty Fine is owned by the same people that own Rudy's, and they both have that hand washing station.
Yeah.
Where you can get the sticker. They make a shirt that's just the sticker. It just says, I have clean hands. It's a big thing.
It's a lie.
This is so cool. What do you mean it's a lie?
Because you don't always have clean hands when you're wearing that shirt.
You don't always have when you have the
That's a good
sticker
point.
either.
But you can go, the sticker's at least at the station.
Yeah, but they don't police it. They don't make sure
Right.
you only take the sticker after you wash your hands.
John, what is this, a contract?
It's a
shirt.
lie. It's a lie.
It's just a cute shirt.
You're being disingenuous.
Dude, if I wear a Ramones shirt, I'm not in the fucking Ramones, dude. I just like the shirt.
But does the shirt say, I'm in the Ramones?
What's that?
Does the shirt say, I'm in the Ramones?
It's implied.
No, it doesn't. Your shirt says, I have clean hands. It is a declaration that is a lie.
Yeah, if your shirt said, I like clean hands.
Dude, everybody wears the I voted stickers, but we never vote. I just go get the sticker and leave. You know, that's
So,
everybody
again,
does that,
you're
right?
talking about something that is lying as a relation to what your other thing is lying.
I just want to point out to the audience, if I can't ever finish the stories, because fucking John keeps interrupting.
I like the Yo Vote stickers.
Yo vote.
Yo,
You vote? So I bought the I have clean hands thing because I thought we like that.
Yeah.
We get the sticker. It's funny. So I thought I'd wear it on the podcast, and some people would get what it is. Some people won't. The fucking I have clean hands on the back. It's not on the front.
Don't they have one?
It's a little Mighty Fine logo here.
Oh, on the chest.
And then on the back, the whole back of it is the I have clean
Just
hands
wear
thing.
it backwards.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, and I actually thought of all people, you would point it out that I was wearing a shirt backwards.
You know what you should do? You wear it backwards and then wear a collared shirt underneath with the collars over the neckline so you can't tell.
Or just cut the collar
I'm not
out.
committed to that much.
Just get
Cut the collar out.
Cut the collar out. Show a little shoulder. It'd be nice.
Or just get the sticker. And
Be
put it on.
way easier if they just made a better shirt, I think.
Yeah.
That's one of my pet peeves. I know it's like such a first world problem, but when you like a shirt, you're shopping for shirts in a store and you see, oh, this is a really cool graphic, and then you pick it up and it turns out it's on the back.
Yeah.
Well, what's the fucking point?
Tony in the design, Tony's in charge of our merch now. Like, he likes the back thing and thinks that's how we should be doing a lot more graphics.
It's cool if we weren't always facing forward on shows.
Yeah.
Like, when have you ever
in
seen
general,
my
we're in a
back?
selfie culture now. Like,
Yeah.
people are going to take photos with the shirt. I mean, honestly, that's what it is.
So it should be flipped.
Even he's
It should
taking
be
selfies
backwards.
now.
What?
You're taking
We throw me
selfies.
under
You
the
got the Instagram account. You're taking selfies and stuff.
That's fine.
They're not really selfies.
I don't know
I
they're
don't
selfies,
think
they're
I have a
just
single selfie on my Instagram account.
They're
Look
just
how good his
pictures like
reaction,
this.
though, right? You
I've
can
got
tell he's the
photos
older
of
generation.
me.
He's like,
I think
"I'll take pictures of
I'm getting
myself."
mad because people misuse the word selfie all the time. People
the time.
think selfie is a photo of themselves, but that's not true.
No.
A selfie is a photo you take of yourself.
Yeah, someone's like, "Hey, can we get a selfie?" I'm like, "Sure," and they're like, "Here, can you take?" And
Right.
it's just like,
Or they'll get somebody, will you take a selfie of us? They'll hand
take
it
a selfie of
and
us.
That's like, what? So, and then that person always ends up, if it's you, Barbara, ends up taking a bunch of selfies of themselves and then takes a photo of us.
Gus has one photo of himself on his Instagram, and it's a picture of him that I assume
clearly
Esther took.
Yeah.
clearly can't be a selfie unless you're really good.
You can see both my hands.
You can.
could be
for
on a
now.
timer. You could be like this. Click. Like that.
That's another argument. Is a selfie on a timer a selfie?
That is a
Ooh.
self-portrait.
I don't think it is. I think you have to be holding it for it to be a selfie.
Selfie in a mirror is a selfie.
Yeah, but you're
holding it.
You're holding it.
I'm just saying, there's all variations here that count.
He got so excited about that.
A selfie with an Android's a selfie.
Yeah.
Whoa, calm down.
Is it a selfie if you take like a film camera, do this, and then
Yes.
get it developed?
Yes.
I don't think so. I think it's a self-portrait.
That's what.
I wouldn't call that a selfie.
Why?
What about with those like instant Polaroids?
Yeah, because you see it pretty soon.
So it's all about time.
Sounds about how quick
That's a slow
you see
feed.
it.
You get it in a little while. Get it a little
There's
bit.
no speed involved in the naming of a selfie.
That's sloppy.
I think Slofie is a great PR agent for Rooster Teeth.
Sloppy's awesome.
Slofie.
Slofie.
She was asking me to do something just recently, some industry event, and I feel so bad for Sophie because it's like, it's just by our nature, and I know Jeff does as well. Gus, I don't know if you do it as well, but I basically make her ask like 5 or 6 times before I say yes. But I always say, I'm going to do this. If you tell me, I'm just trying to figure out if I should be going to this thing or not.
Right.
You know, because I have no vetting process. I've been to a lot of events where I'm like, why the fuck am I here? You know what I mean? I'd rather be doing anything but this. I'm talking to an audience that sometimes at these conferences, people just show up. It's like, I know people really don't care about this.
Yeah.
And they're just here. You know, some events, you can just feel that in the air.
Like to
I
talk to people
recently
who care.
got invited to speak at like some conference for like data centers. And I was like, man, I haven't worked in IT in years. Like talking about cloud infrastructure and stuff. I was like, you got the wrong guy, man. I don't do that stuff anymore. I
Absolutely should have gone to do it. That'd have been amazing.
Yeah.
was like, I'm
Make shit up.
not the right person.
It's like, oh, check this out. I'm going to show you Amazon. Here we go. Check this out. You can load stuff up.
We're gonna have cloud as a service on the blockchain. Like just try to string them together as many buzzwords as possible.
There was something that somebody said was the ultimate 2018 event, and it was somebody, I think it was Dennis Rodman on
Oh,
TV
God.
talking about Kim Jong-un and saying
cryptocurrency.
and using wearing a MAGA hat and pushing his cryptocurrency.
It was like a marijuana cryptocurrency, like Potcoin or something. Wasn't it a marijuana
no shit, really?
cryptocurrency?
I have a friend who actually has like the first one like that. She made the first cryptocurrency for the cannabis industry in California. Did a whole vlog with her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
Jessica.
realize she had a currency too.
Yeah, she's a cryptocurrency. She had that
Potcoin.
business. What?
Potcoin is the one Dennis Rodman
Hers
had
is
on.
Paragon. So, fuck Dennis Rodman.
Fancier
Brought to you
name.
by Potcoin. No,
He
not really.
was ahead of the North Korea curve.
Man.
He was hanging out in North Korea before. It was cool.
a curve you want to be ahead of?
Nope, I don't think so.
Is that a curve?
I just read that Kim Jong-un has a higher approval rating in the U.S. than Nancy Pelosi does.
That's rough.
What has happened?
What has happened? What has happened?
I don't know.
What is going on? How is that even possible? What's the you're in a Korean household now. What's the atmosphere there? Can you talk about it?
I'd rather not.
Really? Okay, sure. That's okay. That's
I
fair.
can give you my opinion. I don't want to give other people's opinions.
That's okay.
about stuff.
I totally get it.
Wow,
I
it's even,
probably
like,
shouldn't have asked that.
bled into your world.
I'd rather not.
Gotcha. I'll stop.
I can give you my opinion, but I'd rather not give other
You'll
people's
talk to us about the
opinions.
DMV.
Oh, no, I wasn't asking
Yeah,
for
yeah.
other people's opinion. I'm just amazed that would bleed into even just,
I will help get you out of this and get myself out of this for asking that question by saying that one of our friends just recently had a 30th birthday.
Yes.
Gavin Free.
Oh.
And so nothing happened. 30 is a big milestone. So I was like, geez, nobody's doing anything. So I thought,
Well, it's also Gavin.
it is true.
Doesn't give a fuck.
Well, I guess so. But it's a 30th birthday. It's a big milestone. He's old as shit now. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to gather a small group of people, go out for a really nice dinner, and I'll host the thing. So I put together this list of people that I want to go. And it was tough because the room only fits like 15 people. And also the place is fucking expensive. And I just don't want to go crazy. So I made this list of everyone Gavin's known for the longest period of time. It's like how I tried to go through and do it. And we finally came up with the list. Sending out invitations, asked people to RSVP. Look at that. The only person who hasn't RSVP'd to the party is guess who?
Gavin.
Gavin.
Even I RSVP'd.
Even you did.
Did you see my note?
You did. Gus's note was, yeah, I guess. That was
Well,
it.
did you send the invitation to Gavin or to Meg?
I sent it to Gavin.
That's why.
I'm not upset by this at all. I think it's funny. I'm thinking about turning him away at the door.
You know what's really funny? If he doesn't show up. If he forgets about it. And it's just us there celebrating his birthday.
To be fair, Gavin has been very grateful. He's like, thank you for doing this. I can't believe that you're going to do this for me.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
It's more effort than he would put in himself.
Gavin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially, like, can you imagine to do that for me? That would be like, no. He wouldn't even do it for himself, for God's sake.
Right.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to read this. I want to remind everyone this episode of the Receipt Podcast is also brought to you by Honey. How many times have you searched for a coupon or a promo code or an online deal? You copy the code, go back to your page, paste it, and nothing. It's so aggravating. Before you copy and paste another useless code, try Honey. Honey is the free browser add-on that over 9 million people are using every day to save money when they shop online. In 2 clicks, add Honey to any browser for free, then shop like you normally do. Honey scans and tests millions of coupons in the background, and at checkout, Honey automatically applies the best coupon. Time Magazine basically calls... I screwed that one up. Time Magazine calls Honey basically free money. Over 9 million people use Honey every day, and together they save millions of dollars. I was talking with one of our producers here who said that she recently bought some bedding from West Elm and saved over $40 with Honey. It instantly applied different coupons and didn't have to do anything but add it to my browser.
West Elm?
Yes, from West Elm. Loved I didn't have to dig for a coupon that worked. And there's no reason not to add Honey to your browser today. It's free, takes just 2 seconds to install, and will save you tons of money. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/teeth. It's 2 words, joinhoney.com/teeth to start saving with Honey today. It's joinhoney.com/teeth. Thank you for sponsoring this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast, Honey. Met some of those guys who work at Honey when we were out at E3. Nice guys.
What, they were out in E3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were like, you're Gus, you read our ads.
That's funny.
Oh,
I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I work at Honey. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. I was like, you're a relatively new sponsor. He goes, yeah, we're super excited about it. I was like, oh, that's crazy to run into you just like randomly like that.
Do you ever have a sense of pride where like someone tweets
No,
to you?
he never does.
Where someone tweets to you being like, hey, like I heard you read this ad for so-and-so on this podcast and like I went out and tried them and they like tagged the brand and you want to be like, hey, we got one. We got something.
look, it was me. Normally the brands are pretty on top of that. They're always replying.
But it's pretty cool to be like, hey, I did something good for you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Greg Miller was calling me out on Twitter the other day. He was claiming that I got all my MeUndies for free. I was like, what? I sent him an invoice for something that I bought. I was like, look, I still pay for them. I still buy them.
You have a bag of MeUndies right now.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotta pick them up.
Yeah.
How much underwear do you have?
I have too much. I need a pair down.
Just one? She gets it.
I got you.
So do you have like 20 pair?
Probably.
No shit.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, but I do laundry every week. Right? So it's like
I don't do laundry every week.
I do.
Never want to have more than 2 weeks of clothing. Never, ever, ever.
But you do.
I do because I have like suits and stuff that I have to wear. I can't wear that every other Friday. Wear a suit. I guess I could, but then like socks, underwear, t-shirts, jeans. I just have enough to like. I got my ball hole replaced.
No ball hole.
Happy to know.
Oh,
I just worry about traveling.
I'm ball hole free. I got all new jeans.
When we go on extended trips
That's
for
'cause
work,
that's
I just worry
Gavin's
about like
cousin.
not having enough stuff.
I get
That's
that.
it. Yeah. I don't want to have to do the fucking $15 shirt hotel laundry.
Dude, I'm done. I'm done staying at Airbnbs. I'm done.
Why?
I'm done with it.
What's wrong with Airbnbs?
I posted a picture of mine. It's just like there's two kinds of Airbnbs. There's somebody's house, and then you go to somebody's house, and real people live there, and so it's a house.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
But now there's so many of these that they're all like these new real estate developers or this new classification is, where they buy these places on spec, usually condos, and then put the bare amount of furniture possible in them,
maxing out how many people they could sleep in those places.
Yeah, they say like, oh, this sleeps 8. It's like there's 2 bedrooms. It's like, well, yeah, there's bathtubs though.
Just orgy it up.
Yeah,
Or you could sleep in this queen bed.
Up. Yeah.
So this is the picture of the Airbnb you stayed
I
at.
said that Airbnb is the perfect service if you've ever dreamed of living in an IKEA showroom that's half empty.
Yeah.
Well, that was like
I mean, look at that. That could be, you put a yellow line on the floor. That's an IKEA.
Yeah, but like essentially,
It's nice.
What do you really need staying in Airbnb? You got a whole kitchen. You got furniture.
I'm saying a hotel's better.
I agree. I don't mind Airbnbs, but I was one of the last people to show up for E3 because I couldn't get there until Sunday night. And so everyone was already settled in, but apparently we had overbooked our Airbnb.
No. See, that's the other reason I'm done with Airbnb. We were totally booked, and they just called us back and go, oh, yeah, we messed up. And they didn't have the reservations. So they put Ashley and I way far away from everybody else, and they put John in a hotel.
Yeah, so I got to go to a hotel, and I like a hotel because of the automation of everything. You know, your room is cleaned up every single day.
It's amazing.
It had a gym. So
you also can't, well, I'm not saying can't, but you have some form of guarantee when you book at a hotel, whereas Airbnb, they're people, so they could fuck you over really easily.
Yeah.
And it's like never a sure bet. But
run into that way more often than they do like showing up at a hotel and they're like, yeah, we don't have a reservation.
Yeah, and you got to scan for the hidden cameras. And you got to unplug all of them.
There was a hotel in Marina Del Rey, which is right by the full screen offices in LA. And it's where Matt likes to stay. I've tried to stay there. It took me 3 times staying there to actually get a room there. Like one time, the reservation got canceled 24 hours in advance. The other time I showed up and they're like, yeah, we don't have your room. But to their credit, when I showed up and they said, we don't have your room and I had a reservation, they went out of their way to make sure I had accommodation. Like they booked another hotel for me for the night. They arranged a car service to take me between the 2 places. It was a big fucking deal to them. That they screwed up. Whereas opposed to an airline, man, I saw a fucking Delta flight. They got canceled when I was coming back from where did I fly Delta? Seattle. Just went to Seattle recently. And it was an entire plane full of people crowded around one airline representative, gate agent, who was like explaining to them. And I just overheard snippets like, well, where are we going to stay tonight? And it's like, well, you have to make your own accommodations. Well, are you guys going to pay for that? No, that's not part of what we're offering. And it was just like, you could tell it was about to get super heated. Dude.
Yikes.
I get travel anxiety just for getting to things on time. For some reason, that's something that really gets me worried. Like, I don't mind the flying part. I don't care about anything like that or security, anything like that. But it's mostly just the schedule that it all line up, which is why ideally it's always like, you know, you do nonstop flights and that kind of thing. And I couldn't get a nonstop flight to E3 on Sunday night when I could leave. So I had to go to Dallas and then get to LA. And so I had one connecting flight and we landed in Dallas and I was like, oh, good. We're on time. I'm fine. Nothing can go wrong. We landed and we got in line to get to that little, you know, the place where they let you out of the plane. What's that part? The little
gate?
Jet
the
bridge?
gate, I guess,
Jetway.
the jetway.
Bridge, okay.
And they said, oh, there's a plane in front of us and they'll be out in a couple of minutes and we'll be up there. I was like, okay, cool. I have an hour until I gotta get to my next flight.
Oh, God.
We were there for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And
You feel like taken away.
right. And so like, it was like, that thing was like, oh, it's been 10 minutes. I'm still fine. And then we get to like 20, 30 and I'm like, okay, we got to get off soon. And then because I was even in the back of the plane. So I was like, well, I got to get off once people stand up and everything like that. So yeah, I had to book it to my next flight.
You just shove people.
But you joke that like some people would actually have that.
I'm not joking.
Oh,
Just shove them.
Just run through.
Sit down.
Yeah,
Just run
if
through
you say
yelling,
loud
excuse
enough,
the cart.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
that takes too much. That's too much.
Or
So
just say loud enough. I have a connecting flight.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry. Like,
Jon Risinger coming through.
Jon Risinger, yeah, yell that out. See how that works out.
No, I get what you mean though. So, like, kind of a hidden part of The Amazing Race when I was on it was you jockey for position on the fucking plane. like trying to change your seats. Like when you book your tickets, if someone else ends up on your same flight, you want to get like 2 or 3 rows ahead of them. So they get, 2 or 3 rows is like minutes, you know?
It matters.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is that right as we're about to land, I would always try to grab the flight attendants and be like, hey, can we just move up? And you gotta, the way the structure of the show works, you have to do everything for yourself and for your camera and audio guy.
So it'd be like 4 people.
So we need to get any favor you're asking for. It involves 4 people, not 2 people. So it's like I'd ask, can we move up to like right by the door, like business? I see 4 seats right there. Can we move up there? You know? And then of course the other team see you doing stuff, and they're like,
yeah,
they're like meerkatting up over their seat. But it's a big deal, dude. That seat position was always a big deal. And then we get to customs and get locked up anyway. So
Trevor had an issue on a flight he was on. They were flying back. I believe it was through Dallas. But their plane kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed to the point where they were not even taking off by the time the other flight was connecting.
Oh, right.
So most of the people on that trip got rebooked on a later flight. But then they landed, and it was the same thing where there was another plane at their gate, so they couldn't dock, whatever it's called. And they were sitting on the tarmac, I think, for 45, 50 minutes. And while that was happening, the other plane that they were booked on also took off. And so,
oh man, really?
He was on the plane, so he was like, couldn't figure it out. So I was on hold with American Airlines trying to reach them, on hold for probably about an hour.
Yikes!
Because I just wanted to get him home that night. He had been
Everybody's
away
having
for
a bad day. Was there a lot of bad weather, or what's going on?
I think there was bad weather, a bunch of delays. So while I was on hold, I went onto Twitter and I DM'd American Airlines, and I was like, "Hey, this is the situation. Here's his confirmation number. Here's his American number. This is the flight he's on. This is where it was delayed. This is the flight I'm hoping he could get on because it was like an hour later." Gave them all the information in a DM. Within like 2 minutes, they're like, "All right, he's all set." Meanwhile, I'm still on fucking hold.
I always DM now.
But it's good, like when you have a plan already, that they could just be like, "Okay, here you go."
Yeah.
If it all works out.
And also, if you're one of those social media airline employees, how much do you like the friendly request over DMs versus everything else you must deal with?
Yeah.
Of like, hey, jackasses, why am I sitting here and doing this? You know, it's like that's got to be 90% of their workload is just people who have exploded online.
Well, that's who was that? I was when that day that IHOP did the IHOP thing.
I don't want to talk about that.
Right.
We talked about it last week.
Okay.
No, I'm saying that day that happened, a ton of other chains made funny tweets about it like that.
Like Pancake King.
Right. And I think that's actually who I was trying to look up was that Andy. I was driving with Andy and he told me about someone's funny tweet. And so I tried to go find it and I couldn't find the tweet immediately. So I was like, maybe it was under tweets and replies, which is that other column in your app. And I was just scrolling through their tweets and replies for like Burger King, or it might have been Wendy's. And it was just them responding to complaints.
Oh, yeah.
Like a ton, just every hour. Like I scrolled and it was like 1 hour ago. And I kept scrolling, it was like 2 hours ago. And that's just all their Twitter feed is. It's people complaining about fucking hamburgers at a goddamn Wendy's.
People, a lot of people get online to just be mad. They like to be mad online. And they don't realize a person. It's Wendy's, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not somebody's job to respond to that stuff. Also, I think everyone should have to work in fast food at some point in their life because you get yelled at all the time. Yeah. Like people just in
any customer service.
Fast food
capacity.
in particular, people just have no patience. Like, oh, this took 45 seconds. I hate you.
Work at a call center. I mean, we got that too when we were working at the dial-up call center. It's like, you all had a 15-minute outage. I want a refund for that time you were down. It's like, okay, you're paying $19.95 a month for your internet. I'm going to divide that by 30 days. I'm going to divide that by 24 hours. And I'm going to multiply that by 0.25 because it's a quarter hour. Where do you want your 5-cent check sent to you?
Yeah. I worked at a Burger King in a movie theater, which I'm sure most people who watch the podcast know. But that's the worst because you're dealing with people who expect fast food, even though it's a different type of location. Plus, they're usually late for their movie. So they're like hungry, rushed, angry, and just expecting fast service because it's fast food, where it's like, I'm the only person working here right now.
That's the other thing, too. It's like they staff down on everything all the time. I got in a discussion with people about IHOP. It's like, why are they doing this? They're rebranding. It's like, nobody goes to IHOP. Nobody goes. That's why they're doing it.
Guess what? What's the last time you talked about IHOP?
Yeah.
And it's working.
My kids have like zero sophistication in their palate, especially Teddy. So, but I have discovered it is one of the places that everyone in my family will eat is IHOP. So I eat at IHOP on a regular basis, and often weekday nights we go to eat at IHOP sometimes, and it is like just empty. There's more employees than there are customers, and then I go on Sunday morning with them, and it's a 3-hour wait. So I can understand why they kind of moved away from the breakfast identity. By the way, burgers have always been on the menu. Always. Yeah. They're just raising awareness of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're not getting rid of pancakes, right?
No.
I also don't think that they're going to keep it as IHOB.
Also,
it's just
a stunt. It's a stunt.
They got to stop putting cream cheese and stuff. They're putting cream cheese. If they could have cream cheese stuffed coffee, they would probably make that if they could figure out a way to do that.
They have a lot of cream cheese stuff.
Oh my! Everything's stuffed. They got French toast stuffed with cream cheese. It's like
sounds amazing.
It is. It is. They need to stop it though.
So you don't have to eat it. You don't have to order that.
You do.
Please. What am I doing over here?
What did you say the day when we were out eating? You were like, if you put food in front of me, I will eat it
until it's gone.
Well, it's like
I eat food until it's gone. That's the problem on set is the food never goes away. It's like replenished.
I hate that.
Especially when there's a lot of downtime between shots and you're just like wandering over by the snack table.
Oh, I'll go eat snacks.
Well, that was like
it's like opening the fridge and closing the fridge like every 5 minutes.
Except you don't close it without getting it. You're constantly getting something.
Yep.
I knew at E3 there'd be interesting food situations as far as like not a lot of healthy opportunities for food, and I'm trying to reach a goal for Fit for RTX, and so I didn't want E3 just to be an example or an excuse to like ruin that. So when last time I was in LA, James had shown me another food supplement kind of thing that's like a meal replacement drink, and so I got some of that and I bagged a bunch of it up to take with me to LA, and so I had all these Ziploc bags of this powder. And
they weren't in like containers?
No, because I figured like just a giant container would be like, you have to like put things in smaller bags. I was thinking airports.
What color was the powder?
It's like a tan.
Does it look kind of white?
Yeah, well, I lined my bag with like probably like 8 of these things.
Yeah, but
and here's actually where it went weird, and I'm sure it has to do with a bit of this good old-fashioned white privilege, was that I went through the TSA pre-check, and that probably helped as well, but I put my bag through, and I got through before my bag, and I looked back, and I was wondering if I was going to get through without it being checked. And it goes through, and you can see the x-ray guy just looking at the screen, just trying to figure it out, and he looks over at me, like, waiting for me. He's like, "What is that?" And I said, "It's meal replacement stuff so I don't get fat when I travel." He said, "Okay." And he just let it go through and took it, which was great because I wasn't held up. But then in hindsight, I'm like, that should be a time you should check a dude is taking a bunch of powder through TSA. Like, it'd be a really bad way of smuggling drugs, but still.
They don't expect it.
Yeah.
It's like, that might be the best way.
But by the way, it's always been that way. Like, you can't, the seriousness of TSA and like, you can't joke around and stuff. The guy Gus and I used to work for back at the call center, he was a lifetime rodeo guy. And he started off in his career, in his younger days, doing that thing where they let a bull loose. He rides his horse up next to it, jumps off his horse, lands on the bull's neck, and then like twists it over and like knocks it over.
Fuck?
Bulldogging is what he did. But apparently when you do that, the way you slow the bull down is by just dragging your feet sideways. So he literally just like, his knees are gone. Like he just tore his knees out. So then he moved on to what's called team roping, where you stay on your horse. He ropes the horns, or his partner ropes the horns, and then I still, to this day, don't understand how a human being can do this. The other person ropes the cow's back legs. And I tried to have him explain it to me one time, like, how the fuck do you rope a cow's back legs?
Just when it's like...
You rope where the legs are going to be.
Yeah. He says you just basically, like, you throw it in front of it like a trap and then pull it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, that's crazy. Humans are amazing at stuff they can do. But he was going to... I think national finals for team roping or something, some event he had to travel to with his buddy, and this must have been in the 70s. And he said the way they transport their ropes is they want to separate them from everything else, so they have cans, and they put them in cans. But they basically just like wind the rope into the can and then put it in there, but it ends up going up and down like this. Sure enough, they get to security, and the guy's looking at it, and he turns it around, and there's like this can, it's all these lines. And he turns around to his buddy and goes, "Hey, pal," he goes, "Buddy, what is this? What is this thing here?" And his buddy goes, "Oh, that's dynamite. Jail for 3 days." They missed their event. They pulled him out of line. They threw him in jail for 3 days straight. Yeah. was in the 70s.
What
Which I
a-
guess stuff was getting blown up like Pan Am flights and stuff in the 70s. But yeah, they don't fuck around with that. They never
What?
have.
Yeah. What an
Is
idiot.
the best case scenario for that joke.
he just thinks he's being funny. You
No,
know?
seriously, what is that? Like, what does he expect?
The
your
guy goes,
reaction to be?
funny, and gives him the can. That's the best case scenario.
Right. Yeah.
That a person thought you were funny. The worst case scenario is what happened.
Yeah, he went to jail.
Probably could have been worse.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Not a good
more than
case.
3 days in jail.
Yeah.
You brought up working at a movie theater, and it reminded me of something that happened at E3 that I would love to tell a story about. It involves Elise Willems. So
The sunshine of my life.
the sunshine of everyone's life. Elise
I
is
I started at the Funhouse. We were with them for a weekend. Yeah, they were in there.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. So when did you see Elise? 'Cause-
yeah, they were out there.
Yeah.
So we all went to a mixer one of the nights there that I think we were throwing, and we showed up, and I was hanging out with her and Josh Flanagan and James and everybody, and we were at a party. And like I said earlier, I don't really like to drink, so parties are really kind of a moot point for me. I don't really like to drink, and the food there wasn't any food that I wanted to eat, and so I was just prepared for a night of like, socializing, but everyone else was like taking part of stuff. But someone floated the idea of, I think it was Elise floated the idea of like, anybody want to go see Hereditary? Anybody go see a movie? And
Like that night?
Yeah, that night. And I perked up so excited because A, it gets me out of a party, and B, gives me something to do that night that I love doing, which is going to the movies, especially with friends. I go to the movies by myself a lot, and I like that, but it's also super fun to go with friends sometimes. And I hadn't seen Hereditary, and I wasn't going to have time to see it, and I was super excited about seeing that one. So I was like, yes, let's go do it. Once I said yes, and Josh also was like, yeah, I want to go too. And once we had like said we're gonna do it, Elise kept backtracking. She's like, no, we don't need to go. She like turned the Canadian up to 11 and was like, no, we shouldn't go. Like, and she was so worried about James. And he was like, well, I'll just go home and take care of Benson. And she's like, no, I should go home with you. She's being super
But she
weird.
wanted to go see the movie. She
She
wanted to
wanted
get
us
out
to
of
see
it.
She's
but
the one who
once-
suggested it.
But once we all committed to it, she was very much like, no. She was like worried that James would be upset that she was going to abandon him and that kind of thing. But James couldn't give a fuck about it.
They live in LA.
I know. And he didn't want, and he'd already seen the movie. They'd already seen it. She wanted to see it again. And he was like, I don't want to see it again. So just go. It's fine. And so finally got her to verbally commit to it. So I quickly, used Fandango because we had a Regal just down the street from where we were. And I bought 3 tickets. And I was like, well, I bought tickets. We got to go. And she's like, okay, so we go. So we went and saw the movie and everything like that. And it was great. And before we went and saw the movie, we went into it. She was like, hey, can I just Venmo you money for the ticket? I was like, no, it's fine. I love going to the movies. I want to buy you guys tickets. It's not a big deal. And so I was like, it's on me. She would not let it go. She kept asking like, oh no, I need to pay. I was like, no, stop.
Well, I could put myself right now in Elise's mind where she's the one who suggested the movie. You're the one who bought the tickets and like left a party to go do that. She was probably
You're on a
feeling
podcast.
the
You're probably going to bring it up.
Yeah.
No, she felt the ultimate guilt right here.
Right,
Elise
but
is
I
the
let her
sweetest
off
human
by saying
being.
no. I want to go see this movie, and I'm so happy to buy you guys tickets. It's
Oh,
my
yeah, she
pleasure.
probably wouldn't let that go.
E3 ends, we get back, and I get a text from Elise saying, "Hey, what's your Venmo? I want to be able to send you." And I said, "You're not paying me for
Hey,
this."
John, take the fucking money.
I didn't want to. At this point, now I'm being combative, and I'm like, "No."
Yeah. You're being a kind of a jerk by
Yeah.
not taking the money.
Well, it didn't
Now
end
you're
there.
at $10 and you're a jerk.
It didn't end there because 3 days later, I get a ping on my phone. James Williams sent you $17.
Really?
You should just press
Because
decline.
James and I had interacted before on Venmo, and so she just got James.
You should donate it to the worst possible. You should donate it to the NRA in her name. And be like, that's what you get for giving me the money
no,
I didn't
because
want.
that would be me being mean to Elise,
God, no.
and I can't be mean to Elise.
But she'll never send you money again if you say not to.
But
Here's what I'm hearing. You'll take money from a man, huh? But not... What,
I
women
forcibly
aren't
was
good
given
enough
money.
to pay you, John?
You
Why
can
is
also
that?
press. Like, I think you could decline.
I was about to do that, and I just wanted this to end because I didn't want to have this interaction anymore, so I just kept it. I didn't even I just texted her, "Holy crap, woman," and she just sent back a heart emoji, and I was like, okay, I could have made her feel bad, and I didn't want to.
But now they're never going to go anywhere with you because you make things difficult.
How did I make things difficult?
You're mortal enemies.
By looking at the tickets and buying them, and then also getting the car that we all took to the theater.
It's kind of a creepy move.
There's no winning.
And I would challenge, by the way, Elise Williams being the sweetest person in the world, because I think I went to Hereditary with the sweetest person in the world. Ashley will not go see horror movies. She doesn't want anything to do with horror, anything whatsoever. In fact, I knew she was being super nice to me on Father's Day because I woke up before everybody else. And I just thought, I'm going to play a little bit of State of Decay 2. And so she sat with me and asked me a bunch of questions about State of Decay 2. I'm like, no, you're not into this in any way. You're just being super nice because it's a holiday. And but she would not go see Hereditary with me in LA. So I ended up going on a movie date with Adam Ellis. And going to a horror movie with Adam Ellis is fucking great. Because he's a giant Viking who's like probably the gentlest soul on the planet. And it's a scary fucking movie. And the whole time he's like,
he won't play scary video games.
It was great. It was great.
This is what was extra unnerving about my experience with Hereditary. It's a great movie, and it's very scary. It's extra scary when the person sitting next to you has seen the movie, so knows what's coming, and still, at certain points in the movie, is looking down and not wanting to see what's happening. I'm like, what are you doing? You know what's going to happen. Was it that bad? You don't want to see it again?
Who's this? Who did that?
That was Elise.
Yeah. Really?
She kept looking
you're calling
down.
her out.
Yeah.
Damn, Elise.
She's probably counting the money she's supposed to give to you. That's what she's doing.
Over and over again.
I love that.
She had her head lowered in guilt and shame. That's what she was lowered in.
I won't see Hereditary. I'll see scary movies. Like I saw Quiet Place.
Yeah.
I saw It.
That's thriller. That's not
Quiet
horror.
Place, great horror movie. I was starting to think I was disconnected from modern horror because I didn't think Hereditary was as good as everyone is making it out to be.
Yeah.
And I know I'm in the minority on this, and I keep saying this every time I talk about this movie, but I didn't understand the fascination with Get Out. From a social perspective, totally get it. But as a horror movie, I felt it was.
I thought it was so unique. I loved it.
Would you call it a horror movie?
Yeah.
Was scary and everything?
Yeah.
There was tension and like emotional
thriller.
It was thriller. I put those as thriller more.
Okay.
Although it did get very horror-esque at the end because it gets very
Intense,
physical and intense and that kind of thing.
But what I was saying was with horror movies, I could do jump scares. I could do kind of like that kind of scariness. But Hereditary, the second I saw the trailer, I was like, I can't do this.
No.
Because it makes you feel uneasy.
That's so good.
And that's where I draw the line, I think,
It's
with
so
horror.
good.
I just when it makes me feel just sick and just
like leaving a party with a friend and then having them buy your movie ticket.
just so uneasy.
Ugh, it's so tough.
How has this turned around?
Oddly enough, it was weird, like in the second act of Hereditary, when all the characters start offering to Venmo each other. That
Yeah.
was weird as a solution to all their problems.
I heard about that.
But then one character wouldn't fucking take it, so everything went to shit. All that person's fault.
It was Elise's personal horror film.
I get what you're saying, Barb. It reminded me a lot of the horror movies I grew up with. Like 70s horror was like mortifying. It was horrifying.
Yeah.
Like it was so like a mental mind fuck. Like The Shining is a good example of that. It's just it's not so much about a dude killing people with an axe as this horrible like creepy mental adventure. You know what I mean? I would even there's parts of 2001 I feel like a horror movie.
Oh, definitely.
Stuff is early sci-fi too was like really
Disturbing is the word.
Disturbing, yeah, that's the
Disturbing.
word.
Hereditary is very disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys afraid of clicks now? Or no?
No.
If you heard that in your apartment by yourself,
Yeah.
how quickly
If
would
I
the poo
heard
come out?
anything in my apartment by myself,
You're like, nope.
yeah, I'd be shitting my pants very quickly.
Yeah.
Didn't 2001 just have an anniversary? Aren't they doing like a re-release? Aren't we at like
2018, so it's 17 years. I don't think that's sorry.
I think we're at like the 50 year anniversary. I think,
Stop it.
of the release of 2001.
50?
50?
Dude, we're in the path at this point of heading up towards 50 years of Star Wars, dude.
Yeah, 2001 came out in
We just
68.
passed
It's been 50
40
years.
for Star Wars.
You okay there, Bernie?
Dude, 50, that's too much.
No, you were just like,
I get,
what
I'm
is
tense.
this?
I'm
What is
tense.
this?
I'm just tense. I can pop my knuckles by pulling my fingers out like this.
yeah, I can do that
Oh,
too.
just did it. Just did it.
Yeah, they're doing. Okay, who is this? Sad Panda Bird says they're doing a 70 millimeter re-release in theaters.
Of 2001?
Yeah,
I'll
I watched
see
the
that.
fuck out of that.
Was it like a remastered one or what?
I don't know.
IMAX?
That's all I know. 70 millimeter must be.
Must be.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Jesus
But yeah,
Christ,
I mean,
what
some
is
of
this
that stuff.
conversation?
Some of that stuff was really creepy. Like when they're having the conversation in the other room, so Hal can't hear them.
Yeah.
You just see like it's just silent.
Yeah.
Just like back and forth and back and forth and just like understanding what's going on.
I mean, I definitely think the horror aspects of it at the time that it came out, like a computer that could kill people, there's definitely horror elements to it, you know?
Kubrick knew how to do suspense.
Yeah,
he knew how to do it. Shining scarred me because I saw it way too young, and that is a scary ass movie.
Although it worked out your favor when you went and saw a recent movie because it used part of the Shining set in it.
Yes,
And that was fucking amazing. But if you didn't know the Shining, I wonder if that portion of the movie would have been lost on people.
Probably. I mean,
I
I
had never
think
seen The Shining.
Oh, and you saw
And
the
I
movie?
saw that movie.
And was it lost on you? that stuff?
I only knew because I was with Trevor and he was mentioning that it was from The Shining. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I get that.
But that's a movie that
Well, he was also freaking out because he was I guess, a big fan of The Shining, and so instantly recognized the stuff.
that's
pretty-
reference the movie is what that was.
Yeah.
That's reference the movie.
Yeah. But there were elements in it like, hey, I'm going to go to this room, and everybody's laughing in our audience because they know don't go to that room. But that wouldn't be a big deal to anybody else,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Also, those little girls, dude, that still freaks me out to this day.
Hell yeah.
It's just like, I saw somebody that friends in college who dressed up like those little girls, and I would just be like, that's not good.
Get
Don't
away
do
from
that.
me.
Well, that was like the time we were downtown, and there was a zombie walk, but there was no like pre-indication that there was going to be a zombie walk. So I look out the fucking window and there's a bunch of zombies walking down the road in the middle of Austin. And we were on like right on Congress Road. Like right
I feel like you should have
town.
speakers announcing that just to be safe.
Yeah, it's like that's exactly what that would look
Or
like.
heralds
You
that
know?
These are
Yeah.
not real zombies. Go about your day as planned.
Yeah, man.
The world has not gone to shit yet.
Just have brains out on a platter and be like, look, they're not attacking them.
not
They're-
all
they're not
zombies
using the
eat brains. That's a thing that was started with. That's not a real thing.
I like how upset he
Hey,
is.
guess what? Zombies aren't a real thing.
By your practice.
You don't know that, Josh. You know
Look
that,
at
Josh.
that.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
All right.
Should we mention how
Dark
we all
web.
got announced for RTX London
RTX London. Yes.
today?
When is that? September 15th and 16th?
Yes. Yes.
And, oh, there it is.
Ta-da! September, 15th and 16th. All four of us are going.
Yeah.
Tickets at RTXLondon.com.
Ashley's also going to be there.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, she'll be there.
And more people.
And
But
of
More
course,
people will bring themselves.
we have RTX Austin
does the
coming up as
official-
well, August 3rd to 5th.
hell yeah.
Are we-
The home event, as it were.
going to announce more people going to RTX London, or is this it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
It's possible.
I'm enough.
But yeah, first
All you need is
Austin,
John.
then London. Come to both.
Make sure you
Why not?
Venmo John the price of your ticket, your badge to RTX London. I also want to say really quickly, one of the things I got to do when I was up in LA, I didn't get to go to the mixer that you guys were talking about because at the last minute, one of our distinguished alumni from Rooster Teeth, Mr. Nathan Zellner, found out that I was in LA and they were having the premiere for their new movie Damsel. And it's a great movie. It's a Western. It stars Robert Pattinson, and it is a surprisingly, I don't know if it was intentional, a surprisingly very modern story but it's in their quirky, funny, weird way that the Zelders always make everything, but it's really great. So
They
if you get a
showed it.
chance, if Damsel ends up in your town, make sure you take a chance to go see it in the theaters because it's really fun.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.